Tabitha Brown was on the Breakfast Club and she talked about her spiritual gift of being a seer. Now, some old folks will say she got the sight. She got the sight. This is what she said.
When you say you have gifts, are you clairvoyant? Are you like a medium?
No, I call it, I'm a seer, right? It's just, that's a gift that God gave me. I was born with it. It's been that way, my whole life. I feel like we all have discernment. We just don't all lean into it, right? But for me, I, as a little girl, would dream about people I've never met before and wake up and tell my mom and dad, like, oh, I such and such. And they'd be like, that person been dead 20 years. Like, you would never know that person, right? I can remember being at my grandfather's funeral, but they're like, you were 10 months old. There's no way for you to remember that. It's just, I don't know. And I can't control it. That's the thing. It just happens. Like, I can be talking to you and something can just appear that I can see. And it may be for you or it may be to protect me. It just depends. But I have no control over that.
Number one, you said something earlier about God spoke to you. What does God sound like?
For me?
Yeah.
So I always tell people, I get asked that a lot. Now, I am gifted in a different way than most people. So for me, I can hear like your voice. I can hear sometimes it sounds like a flutter, like a hummingbird would be close to my ear. So it's like a wind and it's a flutter, but you can hear sound in it. I can see it. I can dream it. I'm a seer, but in my dreams, like my dreams can speak to me and things come to pass. So that's what it sounds like for me. For most people who are always trying to figure out, is this God speaking to me or is this just my thoughts? I would tell you that when you think of something, you'll think of it and you may lose the thought later, right? It may not even come back to you. But when God is speaking to you, when he's putting something inside of you, it won't let you rest.
And see, Tab tells that story over and over. And I love the fact that she talks about having spiritual gifts so openly because, Tab has that good Southern, wholesome auntie energy that people love. And it helps this conversation of spiritual gifts become more mainstream and acceptable, right? And it's important because, y'all, we all have spiritual gifts of some sort. Some folks have the gift of sight, right? Where you have foresight, meaning you could see things that's going to happen in the future, things that are to come. Some people have the gift of hindsight, where you can see things that have happened in the past and get clarity on why things are happening the way they're happening now, right? Some people have both. Now, how the gift of sight shows up is different for different people. Some people are dreamers, right? Where you'll get the gift of the sight in dreams. You'll get clarity and visions in your dreams. Some people have the gift of sight through clairvoyance, right? Well, they'll be able to see things. Sometimes they'll be able to see things to come or see things that have happened while they are fully conscious. Some people have clairaudience, where that's that whisper that they was talking about, where they could actually like hear spirit, hear God speaking to them. Some people have claircognizance, where they just get this divine knowing that comes out of nowhere. They just know what is going to happen. There's many different ways that the gift of sight shows up. And it's important that we normalize this conversation because in the Christian world, people will often say like, that's demonic. But in the church, y'all call them prophets. And again, it's just important to normalize this conversation because a lot of people experience their spiritual gifts at a very young age and they're demonized for it. They're told that they're crazy and they shut it down and they shun it. And then they have to work through adulthood to open it back up and to learn to trust themselves again and trust their spirit of discernment. We can't have that no more. Let's normalize this conversation of understanding your spiritual gift and tapping into it. Much love. So Tabitha Brown was on the Breakfast